Hello everyone. Today I am going to discuss the role of art in war, which is such a important but overlooked topic. As war is not between guns and bullets and bombs, but it influence can be seen also in the art and literature also. So today I am going to discuss it, and first is my introduction. Hello everyone. I am Bhargav Makwana from semester 2. Then the table of content. First, I will discuss the introduction of wartime art. Then we will explore some key features of war art. Then the impact of wartime art, followed by the war poetry. Then war and literature in a novel. Then a song inspired by war. Then wartime painting and movies as wartime art. First, research question. So, my research question is, how does war influence different forms of art, and what role does art play in shaping war narratives? My hypothesis is this presentation will examine how wartime influence multiple art forms, not just literature, and how these works shape the historical and memory of individual identity. So, first of all, introduction to wartime art. Wartime art serve multiple functions, propaganda such as propaganda, commemorative and personal reflection. Then artists often navigate a tension between creative expression and national duality, where artists follow the confusion that what should his art should present like it should be loyal to his country's present situation or just some imagination. Then the 20th century saw art become a powerful tool in shaping public opinion, political ideologies, and collective memory. This presentation will explore how wartime art influences perception, psychological responses, and its reassessment post-war. First of all, features of wartime art. First is propaganda art. Government uses art to shape opinions, fuel nationalism, and justify wars. Like in 1984, and the artist of the floating world. In 1984, the art language means to use language to justify their current situations. Then in artist of a floating world, the protagonist is portraying some paintings to justify the current situation of war, to motivate people to participate in a wartime. Second is a commemorative art, which often describes the memorialize fallen soldier, victory, and sacrifice. Its example is the Soldier by Rupert Brooke. Then the art as a protest challenges war's morality, exposing its brutality and futility. Examples on being asked for a war poem, which is not supporting war or just uh, it is ironically poem that does not support only war, but it also present its different side. Then personal and reflective art expresses personal experiences, trauma, and the impact of art. There is a book called "Men's Search for Meaning" by Viktor Frankl, which collects his personal experiences uh, during a camp. Then wartime art and its impact. First, on its impact on artists, many artists struggle with guilt over creating a propaganda. Some justify their work as a patriotic, while others later regret their role. In an artist of the floating world, we can see the same situation. Then, on the public, propaganda states nationalism, fear, and enemy hatred. Post-war public perception of propaganda shift as the consequences become clearer. So we can see that how art importantly play the role that shapes public opinions and people's hopes and reality. Then war poetry. There are I have taken basically two poems, which one shows the glorification of war and the second shows its suffering. Like first is Wilfred Owen's Duels at Decorum East. which was written on the setting of World War One. The theme of brutality of war and the false glorification of dying for one's country. Here are some lines which represent this situation. Then Rupert Brooks, the soldier, which also has the setting of World War One. The theme present war as a noble and patriotic, focusing on sacrifice and national identity. If I should die, think only this of me, that there is some corner of a foreign field that is forever England. So we can see that both poetry at one point or other point trying to uh, the main setting is a war, where the first poetry is trying to say that how war is not just about glorification or enhance one's identity, but it also says that it also has some horrors and terrible events are there happening between war. Then the Rupert Brooks, the soldier, it glorifies a person like who is loyal to his own country and presenting that he can sacrifice for a country, for his country. The next is literature and war, novels and plays. First is Catch 22 by Joseph Heller, which has the setting of World War II, the theme of absurdity of war, bureaucracy, and survival. So, Catch 22 is a story of a young man who is a bombardier in a wartime. He basically tries to ignore the war and trying to convince their upper governance that he do not want to take any participation in a wartime. While the other novel is For Whom the Bell Tolls is written by Ernest Hemingway. Here we can see the sacrifice, horror, and psychological toll of war. So both the works are at some point we can say that different from each other. While the first Catch 22 tries to describe how a soldier is forced to take a participation in war, while the other, where the soldier is happily participating in war and trying to convey that that his life is no match for his country's reputation or its importance. Then the songs of a war. First is Blowing in the Wind by Bob Dylan, which was written during the Vietnam War. It is an anti war anthem questioning human suffering. Its lines are: How many roads must a man walk down before you can call him a man? Then the second song is We'll Meet Again by Vida Leon, which has also the setting of World War II, a wartime song offering hope and reassurance to soldiers and their loved ones. Its lines are: We will meet again, don't know where, don't know when, but I know we'll meet again some sunny day. So these two songs are different from each other, where the first song, Blowing in the Wind, represent that how many wars or walk a man should walk, and what a man needs to do before he call himself a man. While the second present the setting where soldiers are living for war, and the singer tries to say that we will meet again, and there is a type of hope that the war will be in our favor. Then wartime paintings. Paintings is such an important art which tries to shape the perception or the perception of people, such as there are some paintings like Pablo Picasso's Guernica, which was created during 1937. It depicts the horror and suffering caused by the bombing of Guernica during the Spanish Civil War. Then John Singer's Sergeant Guest, which was created during 1990, depicts the suffering of soldiers blinded by the mustard gas during World War One. Then Francisco Guico III of May 1808, which was created in 1814, depicts the execution of Spanish rebels by Napoleon's forces during the Peninsular War. Then movies and wartime art. First is The Life is Beautiful in the 1997, which was presented. Then the second is Moments Men, which was which was published in 2014. So first is Life is Beautiful. Life is Beautiful is a story about a young man who is facing the wartime, but he has quite a different opinion than other. Way that his son, he tries to save his son by the cruelty of war, by saying him that war is just like a game and he needs to just survive. In the end of this movie, he himself sacrificed his life to save his son, while the other side, the Moments Men, it it is a story about how there are some paintings stolen by Nazis. There is a particular theme in this movie that when the armies are not that much strong, and they decide that we cannot overcome this country, so they stole some arts or some other things that might have the value of countries creative work, and they stoles it. So these are the soldiers or the person who are related with art in one or a different area, and they try to rescue their art. Then its conclusion would be wartime art is a double-edged sword, uses propaganda but also for truth telling. An artist of the floating world explores world exemplifies the moral struggle of wartime artists. Art's role in war continues to shape historical narratives and collective memory. Here are some references, and that's from my side. Now feel free to ask questions.
So, Bhargav, my question is to you that how does film represent war?
Uh, uh, Between 90s to 2000, there are some film creation, but after that time period, modernists try to use some effect to represent the wartime. Before the 2000, we can see that war movies was not that much strong, but after the use of editing, it represent both side of war, such as sacrifice and glorification of war. And while there are some other movies such as The Life is Beautiful, which also tries to represent common man's life in war. Next.
My question is, how does Catch 22 and For Whom the Bell Tolls depict a war differently?
Uh, Catch 22 present a war from the side of a soldier who is trying to escape the war, but still he is forced to participate in war. While the other work, which is For Whom the Bell Tolls, there is a soldier who is by himself trying to participate in war and try to contribute to his nation. Thank you.